Good evening, YouTube. This is Kaylin Stern coming at you with the last of my low-sodium Sopacko meals that were packed in 2012 with the inspection date on the case of 2016. So this is the last. This is meal 6. This is the vegetable lasagna. And there is James Ortiz in the house. Thanks for dropping in. I'm having a vegetarian lasagna tonight. And Chris is in the house. Thanks for dropping in. I forgot to get the drinks that I'm going to have for tonight. So I'll be right back. Okay, sorry about that. Tonight, as I have said earlier, doing these do not have a drink of any kind. So if someone in an emergency situation is issued one of these, he or she would probably just be given a bottle of water or have to have something already. There is Aletha in the house. Thanks for dropping in. Yeah, someone is having a birthday today. Well, happy birthday. So anyway, for my cold drink tonight, this is a beverage-based orange that will go in the drinking jar, which I have back here. And off to the side, I have a bottle of cold water that I took out of my fridge. And then deep, rich coffee. That goes in the for an MRE mug. Now let's see what we have in this bag. And again, the napkin is loose in here. There is Jill in the house. Thanks for dropping in. So sometimes the napkin and the seasoning were inside of an accessory pack type wrapper, but sometimes not. But another thing that is the same with all of these, the only thing that is different about these is the main will be different, and maybe one of the jams might be different. But other than that, crackers, flameless ration heater, which I'm not using because with something this old, I would rather boil it. But I do keep these ration heaters because if that is the only thing that I had as an option, and I had extra salt. There's some salt in there along with the water. Take off. And so instead of the brown emery spoon, this cream colored one, which I'm not using because I have my foreign emery spork. There is Repeating in the house. Thanks for dropping in. Another thing that is the same in all of these, although sometimes this one, 2 napkins instead of 1. So apparently on the packing line, their quality control was not always the best. So sometimes you would get everything you're supposed to get in it. Sometimes something would be missing. But the Tootsie Roll, that's the same. Grape jelly and strawberry jam. It always seems to be strawberry jam, and either grape or apple would be the other jelly. No peanut butter, because if it's to be a low sodium, you don't want any extra salt. And 2 peppers, no salt-free seasoning packets, but sometimes there will be just 1 pepper. Sometimes you get the salt-free seasoning packet, sometimes not. And the other thing that is always the same in these is maple brown sugar fused Pop-Tarts. And then that is it for the bag, other than the lasagna. Oops, sorry about that. This phone mount is a bit on the shaky side, so I just go with it. This is a 12-ounce capacity drinking jar, and this calls for 12 ounces of water. It kind of looks like Tang. You'll see the color better once I get it in here. So that is what it looks like. I'm going to go ahead and put some cold water in here, because it takes these things usually quite a while to mix up and dissolve. I'll give this a stir again later. Put that back there. Oh, that one didn't tear very well. Well, guess I won't be using that one. That one dry mold. See, that does not, it does not look like a brown powder. So I will simply take this one away and come back with a different mug. There we go. I hadn't seen a coffee get funky like that since last time I opened a Red Pack Taster's Choice from many years ago. That is what it's supposed to look like. And this is my newest mug. Once I pour the boiling water in, you'll see the pattern show up. So that's why I have the handle facing this way. And I just add my own creamer and sugar. I'll just leave that there. So that's the first time I've seen a deep rich coffee get all funky like that. And it looked like a fairly new pack, so apparently that one had gotten exposed to moisture. So here is a lasagna pouch. It feels quite firm, fairly full, but this sauce will loosen up after it's been boiled. I'm just using the ration bag as my trash bag. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and put this in the boiling water. And come back with the other kettle for my coffee. So I was going to do a double serving, but because that one had gone funky, it'll just be a single serving. So I'll be right back. This will not reveal the whole of it because I only filled it up halfway. since I'm only doing a single packet. And this deep rich coffee, well, it's pretty weak when you use the standard amount of water, so but this is the just-in-time prepping the Will's new logo. So I'll put that back there. I'm giving the orange drink another stir because it needs it. There's still quite a bit of the powder on the bottom. I'm going to go ahead and open up this Tootsie Roll. It's in very good shape. It didn't get squished. But I usually just leave it there inside of that cardboard. I'll show you why I call these fused Pop-Tarts for those that have not seen before. This packaging is one that looks like it is intended for a food service type operation where you have people coming to get, say, like a continental breakfast in a hotel, or it could be given at a school meal, or maybe a shelter, like a homeless shelter or something like that, where you would hand out something that is individually wrapped. Instead of the type of packaging that you would get when you buy the Pop-Tarts in a store, and you get the box and each one is individually wrapped. See, they're fused, and if you try to separate these, all you would have is a crumbled mess, and this has even been a little bit. But from all the squeezing, some of the filling has seeped out through some of these holes, and you can almost see it in the bottom. The only way you can see that there are two layers is the frosting from the bottom layer is fused to the underside of the top layer. So if you get something like that, the best thing to do is just to just eat it as though it were one piece. I see Daniel's in the house. Katie's in the house. Thanks for dropping in. Yep. So you can't even see the two different layers on the inside because it's so fused from the vacuum sealing. But these still have tasted good. A few crumbs from breaking it apart, but that's okay. Now I have the crackers. See, there is a pack date at 2 means 2012. There is dark matter in the house. This guy is a woodworker. Dark matter is. He does stuff on his lathe. He carves. And he has made some very unique pieces. Anyway, so the 2 means that this is 2012. It can't be 2002 because the labeling would be a bit different. And then the 244 means it's the 244th day of 2012 when this is packed. So that's how date codes work on the U.S. MREs, and Canadian is somewhat similar, except they use it would say 1-2. It's 244, whatever the date might be. So there, you heard that hiss. Let's see how well these come out without breaking. Oh, crumb already came out. Sometimes these have a tendency to get bent. So there is the crackers. That is the underside. It didn't exactly how I wanted it, but it'll do. It'll work. I'm just putting the squeeze on these packets. Because sometimes the ingredients can separate. So I'll put, this is the strawberry jam. Sometimes these jams and jellies have looked a little like they've seen better days. So this is a strawberry. So it does look a little bit redder than it did last week. Sometimes both of these have looked as brown as Russian apple butter. I'm going to put the grape on this one. Tendency to run through the holes in the crackers. See, there is a grape jelly. But so far, out of all of these that I have tried, the crackers have not tasted like they've gone bad. They may taste like they're old, but they're still perfectly edible. And I always have finished these off when I get done with the stream. Yeah, there was a question in Old Smokey's stream chat last night about whether I'm not sure who it was directed at, but I'm sure it was directed at him. But I answered it also about whether reviewers finish a ration once they've done with the review. If it's edible, either the reviewer, him or herself, will finish it off or will share it. For example, when Nathan of Nathan's MRE does a review of a 24-hour ration, he prepares most of the items in one video instead of breaking it up into individual meals to make 3 different videos out of it. Then he saves what is not eaten and finishes it off later in the week, or he shares it with other people. And sometimes Old Smokey will invite one or both of his sons to try a sample. But yeah, reviewers for the most part finish off the meal off camera. And that's exactly what I do. Yep, that's probably true. I'm just going to check the chat. Well, there was one ration that I did not eat everything of, and that was the last brown bag MRE that I did. It was one of the first generation MREs from the early 80s, and the chocolate brown had completely gone south. That one, if there were nuts in it, they had gone rancid because I could not see anything that looked like the color of a nut. So just one tiny nibble was enough. So I did not finish that one at all. And the cocoa mix, that was drinkable, but just barely. But after taking a few drinks of that, I did not finish it off. The coffee, the type 1, was perfectly fine. I could not use a creamer because it had clumped up. It looked like a bunch of cracker crumbs were thrown in that packet. So I had another creamer on standby, so I just used it instead. And the cold drink powder was a mess too. I could not mix that up. So I had another backup drink powder on standby, so I used that. But everything else was perfectly edible. So I had finished off that entire meal. Well, there is Hidden Numismatist, and you are here close to the beginning. I have not taken a nibble of anything yet, so you're in time. But yeah, I would be interested in trying more brown bag MREs. Right now, I just don't have the money to buy them yet, but next month I will be dropping a couple of ration orders. And I'm supposed to be getting a $50 gift certificate or card or something from Minotaur Trading Company because I got an honorable mention in their ration recipe cooking contest for my chicken biryani. So I have the video of that. So I tried to do that one out on my deck. And after I got that done, I shot the video for it. I just brought it inside so I wouldn't get bothered by bugs. You know, when they started to come out, and I just scarfed that all down. So anyway, I am going to go ahead and take a bite of this strawberry jam. See, you can still see it has a bit of red color. This strawberry jam actually tastes a little bit better than it did last week. So even though it's put in the same case as all these others, sometimes the jams and jellies can be hit or miss on how they taste. And so far, the grape has seeped through the holes down into the cracker underneath it. But it looks kind of a purplish red. It doesn't. Well, I am getting there. I have some high standards that I want to get closer to, but I'll get there. And the grape gel even tastes better this week. Although CT probably would disagree. He has this thing about grape jelly. But his coffee has cooled down because all the pattern is gone. I'll just turn it back around to the way I normally hold a mug. Now that Deep Ridge coffee, it's no G7, but it'll do. It's not my favorite coffee from Ration. There are better ones out there, but I'll still drink it. Now that orange drink, typical artificial orange flavor. But if that's all that you have for making water taste better, especially if you've had to purify it from a questionable state, then any drink mix you put in there does a job. I'm going to go ahead and take a bite of this Fused Pop-Tart. It's maple brown sugar. It still tastes like it should. It still tastes like one that you would buy in a store. Although the crust has a little bit, these older ones, they do taste like they have been compressed. They're not as flaky as they normally would be. I have not tried putting one of these doubled Pop-Tarts in a toaster because I normally don't toast these anyway. Well, they can be, but, they're fused. As long as they weren't beat to crap by the time it got to you, it's still fine. And speaking of Pop-Tarts, last week I bought, there's a discount shelf in the Walgreens that I frequent, and they had 3 boxes of Pop-Tarts on it for a reduced price. I guess they're clearing them out, either because they're close to their sell-by date or it's a flavor or an item they are not going to carry anymore. I grabbed all 3 because I'm going to be taking them on my trip next week. So, in fact, next Sunday I will not have a stream because I will be at Lake Icaria. Hopefully trying to catch some keeper-sized fish this time instead of some that are no longer than these jelly packets. Although I did catch one fat 5-pounder carp last year, but that one went back into the drink because no one wanted to keep it. I'm going to move these cracker crumbs aside. And I'm going to go get the main, plus a little something extra, and I'll be right back. This is just a piece of my everyday cookware, and I just use it to carry my my retort pouches in here after I've taken them out of the pan. And I just have a paper towel to dry it off with, so that'll be easier to handle. Put that back there. Shaking it like this because a tear notch goes across this way instead of across this way. little bit of sauce trying to get out of there. Just stuff it in the box that's inside the bag that serves as my trash bag. So there is what the lasagna looks like. It looks like what you might see in Chef Boyardee. This is a low sodium lasagna. So in this particular recipe they don't put as much salt in it. So they might add something else or not. So I'm going to go ahead. So this is vegetarian. There's no meat in it. It tastes like a marinara sauce. But I think there's one thing that this stuff needs. I had to do it. I had to get the old parm out. What these vegetarian entrees have in it as a filler to replace any actual meat would be a texture vegetable protein, which is almost always a soy-based stuff. And sometimes if you season it right and it's processed right, it can have the actual texture of meat. It may not have the flavor of it, but putting a little bit of cheese on it. And people eat cheese on their lasagna anyway. They sprinkle Parmesan on it or Romano or whatever they happen to have. There's beans in it. The red kidney beans. There is Ford Man in the house. Thanks for dropping in. This is a vegetarian lasagna, which I added Parmesan cheese to. You get the protein from the TVP as well as the kidney beans. So these are the main sources of protein in this low sodium ration. But other than that, this one actually tastes better than the raviolis that I had last time, because last week the raviolis were so small. They're about like that bit of cracker that's not covered by my thumb. That's about how small they were. Well, nothing wrong with having a couple of beans now and then. Especially if you mix it up and have different kinds of beans, not eating the same ones all the time. may have a lot of pinto beans and kidney beans in my long-term food storage, but I like to mix it up. I have navy beans in there. I got Great Northern beans. I got lentils. I got chickpeas. I think I might even have a couple of pounds of black beans. Oh, yep. And you can do so many different things with beans. You can use cooked beans in a cold salad. You can make dirty rice with them. In fact, a few years ago at my mosque, I actually made a big pot of vegetarian dirty rice, and I used 2 different kinds of beans. I used black beans, and I used chili beans. You know, the beans in the chili sauce. I just squirted some more of the jellies onto the pieces of cracker, and it's a good thing I made all that extra rice, because we did need more rice for the number of people that we were feeding that night. So didn't go through all of that big pot, but it definitely helped. I also have a variety of canned beans, like cannellini beans. I got the navy beans. I got pintos. I have like refried beans. Well, you can do refried beans out of any bean, not just doesn't have to be pinto or black beans. Yep. Although I wouldn't make a bean soup with ham, I would use another meat, since I don't eat pork. But yeah, that's why I haven't reviewed any of the Emery pizza slices, which I now have 8, including one that is one in one of my what are called the More or Modular Operational Ration Enhancement Packs. The one that was produced by Emery Nation, that one has a pizza slice in it, and I have had 7 already, so now I have 8 of those. I will be sending those out to different people. I haven't decided how I'm going to do that, or who, or what. No, I have seen them, and CT did a video on comparing the Sterling Foods pizza against the Bridgeford pizza. And I think he liked the Bridgeford one better. But of course, neither of those would hold a candle to a freshly made pizza right out of the oven. But there are people who are just now getting into rations who have not tried the pizza MRE. Yeah, Sterling is what I have. The pizza slices that I have are all Sterling. And when you get a pizza MRE, Now, see right there, it says Sterling Foods. That lettering is kind of faint, but this is it. This is the size of the pizza slice that you get, and you only get one. This one was made in 2018, so it's got a few years left on it, but it says pizza slice with pepperoni, so I have 8 of these in total. But you get a ration heater to put this in to heat it up, but these do not supply a whole lot of protein. This would have more protein than this. So usually those MREs supplement with other forms of protein to get the required amount of protein for that meal. But these took a long time to develop to be a shelf-stable product. So I just wanted to grab one of these to show you what this pack looks like. So that's about how thick it is in the wrapper. Now, O'Meals uses Bridgeford pizza slices, from what I have seen, and when you get one of those, you get 2 of these. But they're in a silver foil pouch instead of one like this. Yeah, I have wanted to try that vegetarian pizza from the Norwegian or whatever country made that. Yeah, I have wanted to try that one, but I have not been able to score it. And I definitely would give that one a try. I was just putting that pizza slice behind me. I'll put that in its storage place later. But yeah, I would definitely give that one a go. And RC Gusto actually made a video where he compared that to the original, the first, I think it was a Bridgeford pizza. So he did a video comparing those two, the vegetarian one and the actual pepperoni one. No, yeah, that's what I've, you would have to have a really high temperature for a short amount of time to really blast the top of it to melt the cheese. That's probably the only way you can do it. Or maybe due to the ingredients that they put in the cheese to make it keep its original form. They would have the actual mil-spec MR, the pizza slice in it. And it would be, if you buy one of the full cases, it would be in case B. But you can also get the pizza slice on its own from MRA Nation or Minotaur Trade Company. They're both run by Black Dog Bob. Put some of those into some of the rations that he puts together, but he also sells the pizza slice as a single item. That's what I said, O'Meals, but you get 2 of the pizza slices instead of 1 in a standard MRE. But they use Bridgeford pizza slices from what I have seen from others who have reviewed those. Well, in some instances, Krispy Kreme donuts may not last forever. You get, you put that in a room full of hungry people, those things will be gone. See, dark matter is it. You know, he got it right. They wouldn't last long. He sees them, he eats them. I have not had a Krispy Kreme donut in a coon's age. Yeah, that piece of cracker that I ate earlier had the strawberry jelly on it. This one has the grape. I have not watched Delta Force. But I'm sure the producers who made that movie wanted to definitely have some fun. Or Delta Farce. I mean, sorry, I misread that wrong. I was thinking of the actual action movie. But I have not seen that flick, so I don't know what it's like. But no doubt, when you're doing a comedy like that, you probably want to involve a ration or three. Well, I will have to, let's see. It's hard to get you would try to break these crackers. Sometimes it doesn't always want to break where you want to break. Oh, crap. I almost lost that. Oh well, this sure to wash. Oh, well, nope, that is not going to stay. It keeps landing on my table though. Well, I'll just go with that much. Adding that bit of cracker did give it crunch, but it really didn't help with the flavor since these crackers are not salted. Unlike those no, you can live stream before you have 1,000 subs. You just have to have 1,000 subs and a minimum 4,000 watch hours before you can monetize and accept super chats. But well, you know, bologna, that might be one that I pick up Tuesday when I go to Halal Grocers to get some halal meats to take on my trip. Yep, see, Dub C is in the house. Thanks for dropping in. Attempted a megabyte, but this falling off the cracker and almost rolling down off of my shirt. So I put a small amount on the cracker instead. But yeah, if you go to the studio page of your channel where you would like check your analytics and stuff like that, you go to the dashboard, you see it on your computer when you go to the studio there. That's where you'll see any updates, and usually you get updates by email. That, well, dangerous, especially if you're eating something that can really leave a stain, but oh well. The shirt will wash. I'm not worried. Well, it took me quite some time to get to 1,000. Of course, I was not doing the content that I'm doing now. I have not done what I have done in the past for quite a while. Either because timing is not good, I was otherwise occupied, or I couldn't get to the location, or I would shoot video, or live stream, or it just wasn't something that I would be interested in recording. And of course, in the past few months, I have only been going out to either get food, get prescriptions, or just do other needed shopping, or to go make my doctor do some work. I have not gone out to document any protests, which I could easily do. That's what I've done in the past. I could easily do that, but it's getting harder on my knees, especially my right knee. I have no cartilage in my right knee, so I'm not going to go out chasing protesters because I just couldn't keep up. My right knee would protest before I wouldn't get there. So if I do go out to document a protest, I would stay in one spot or move very, very little But because of the big nasty going around, I'm choosing to err on the side of caution. I have also gone into the Capitol to record meetings of legislators. It's a committee meeting, or I might be in, say, the House chamber or the Senate chamber. When the whole House or Senate is in session, or if there's something else going on there in Capitol, I have gone to document that. But this time, I have not gone into the Capitol since last year because our session got suspended before it ended and not restored until last month. And I did not go into the Capitol either, even though I could have gone there with a mask on. I just chose not to do it because there have been people who have been employed at the Capitol who have tested positive for the virus, and I don't want to get it. I don't want to pass it on to anyone else if I get it, especially my mom. Well, I wouldn't say that, although I haven't checked out any of their stuff, Daniel. I should. But I have subscribed to a few more channels that I hadn't subscribed to before. But I do like to hit on newer channels. I'm just squeezing out a bit more strawberry jam. But actually, my editing consists only of splicing segments together. I don't add any effects. I don't add any text overlays. I haven't tried to insert a picture, although I could with the software that I use on my computer. I have OpenShot on my computer, and I have my movie on both of my smartphones. But those can only handle so much before it's just too big. So if I have anything big like that, I'll just dump on my computer like I did with my camp footage from June when I was with TAC from AOK Foraging and Adventures. I just dumped all those video segments onto my computer and then used OpenShot to splice them together. And that's basically all I do as far as editing goes. But I do nearly all of my video shooting on my phones, although I do have 2 other cameras. I just have not tested them out yet. But I have that action camera that I bought off of Craig from Craig Haggard Outdoors, but I need to get some memory cards for it. And then I have a video camera, but I need to get memory cards for it too. So once I get extra memory cards for those, then I'll do some experimental videos with those to see how those go. And I have an external mic, but I don't have a way to connect it to anything because I don't have the right adapters for it. And I've tried a few that I bought off of Amazon, but they haven't been right. But because they're so inexpensive, I just decided to keep them. I figure maybe someone else might need them. But I have the chest mount and the head mount for the action camera, as well as mounts for tripods and selfie sticks. And you can get decent quality tripods and selfie sticks for not a whole lot of money. But if you're going to travel with it and do a lot of moving around with it, then you would want to upgrade to a better quality one. In fact, Tack was looking at my tripod that I took, and she's looking into getting a better one, and asked me what mine was. So I told her it's a Zome, and it uses a twist lock on the leg segments instead of a flip lock, which tends to break. And I had one of those tripods that had the flip lock. I had one of those break, and then a smaller one, the head broke, and I tried super gluing it. Then I took that out on a trip, and it broke again. So when I was packing up camp and taking out the trash to the dumpster, I just chucked that one in there because there was no help for that thing. It was not gonna hold together despite using super glue. So I decided I better upgrade, and that's what I've done. I still have another one that has a flip lock, but that one is strictly for home use, or if I'm not going to be taking it somewhere where I'm going to be doing a whole lot of running around with it. So at times like that, that's when I would use the Zome. But if you can afford to get a decent quality tripod or even a selfie stick, then that would be the way to go. Now, this desk mount that I'm using was actually not all that expensive, but I have had it for several years. And it does well. It's just wobbly because it is flexible, but it allows me to get my phone in a position that will give me the pretty good shot like this. But see that thing right there above my pinky? That's part of the phone mount, and it's just in there. But I tried to set it so it's as unobtrusive as possible. But because of the way I have things situated in here, this is the right side of the tables where I have it mounted. And that's the best place for it because it allows me to get it up and over without really being in the way. Yep. You know, you do what's best for your particular setup. And this foam mount has worked for me. I do put folded pieces of cardboard on it because the table is a bit thin. It's actually a folding camp table that I'm using. My regular dining table, which I made in a shop class years ago, holds my microwave because I don't have a place in the kitchen to put it. So that's basically my microwave table, plus I have other stuff stored on it. Yep, that's what you do. But my Zomeg tripod, I bought that with YouTube revenue money. So that's how I paid for that. I mean, that's a $60 tripod. But I'll tell you, it is beefy, and it has been knocked over several times, but because it has a twist lock for the leg segments instead of the flip lock, there's nothing for that to, you know, nothing inside there to break, no plastic bits. It's not always, you know, it's not always about just about getting stuff. It's about, you know, making it fun. You know, I want to have things that will allow me to enjoy doing whatever videos I do. And this foam mount that I'm using that allows me to do this the way I do. And if I need supplemental lighting, I just use these. These are just book lights. But I keep them off to my left. My ceiling fan light is above and to the right, so that's where the lighting comes from. There may be a little coming in through my slider, which I still have my my vertical blind open. I just twist them. I don't pull it completely back. Oh, yeah, if you want to see stuff in Alaska, there are several Alaska channels that I subscribe to. See, Alaska Prepper. There is Alaska Granny. Those are just two of the Alaska channels that I watch. But the scenery up there is absolutely gorgeous. And there are two other channels, Bush Radical and Girl in the Woods. They're actually a married couple, but they have their own channels. But they have a property up in Alaska, and when they go up there, they shoot video from up there. But So those are just, if you can just search for Alaska, you'll find all kinds of stuff. But yeah. Yep, James is right. Once you're part of the Amory community, the Russian community, and you stick with it, you know, you'll have even if you have a small following, but as long as you have repeat viewers, people keep supporting your channel, even if it's just by watching it, liking it, you know. And if they feel like sharing it, then, you know, it's worth it. You know, I do some stuff other than ration reviews, but, you know, mixing it up. I mean, Dub C is doing some overnight camps. So he is mixing it up. Your old pal Fernbark, he does different things besides rations. You know, they're, you know, History Savior. He has some very unique stuff on his channel, but there definitely is a community here. So I would, you know, stick with it. That's okay, Ford. Thanks for dropping in. And speaking of ration channels, the Ration Museum channel will be moving its weekly stream to Wednesday at 5 o'clock Eastern. So he will do one this Wednesday at either 5 o'clock Eastern or whatever time. I think he's going to keep the same time slot, just moving it to Wednesday. So there's another way you can hook up with others in the ration community, and, you know, support each other that way. Unfortunately, YouTube has taken away the ability to click on the three dots next to a person's name in chat if you're on the computer to go to their channel. You can't do that anymore. But you know, which is a bummer, because that's a quick way to go to another channel, briefly check it out, especially if you open it in a new tab on your browser. You don't lose your place in the chat that you were originally in. You could go there, you know, briefly hit on another person's channel, subscribe, and then you can always go back to it later. And that's what I was doing all the time when I would see a name I would want to check out and hit on their channel. I was doing it that way, but YouTube took that away, which I'm kind of bummed out about. Our coffee's cold, but I'll still drink it. But after this, I will definitely go. Actually, the easiest way, you know, once this is done, you know, if you go to any video on my channel, you drop a comment on it, then I can go check out the channel and subscribe to it that way. or if you subscribe to my channel, I get a notification that someone has subscribed. I go to that channel, I check it out, and then I subscribe to it. You know, unless it's some nuthead who doesn't belong. Yeah. Well, if your coffee maker has a heating element that is still on and you hadn't shut that off, it should still be hot. It may have gotten a little stronger, but my little coffee maker I have doesn't have a heating element in the bottom of it because it's made to fill a travel mug or the little pot. But I brew enough to fill my travel mug, my this big thing. I brew enough to fill that. Whether I'm doing coffee or hot tea, I just brew enough at a time to fill that. And then if I want more, I do it again. That's okay. Thanks for dropping in. Sometimes there are channels who will just do shout outs of smaller channels to try to boost them up. But, yep. Catch you on the flip side, Dark. Again, if you like watching a woodworker, a carver, especially when he's doing when he or she is doing something on a lathe. Dark Matter, he's the one to watch for stuff that he does on his lathe and other carvings. So he uses hand tools, or he uses like a Dremel type thing. But he's got some skills. So, of course, there are other guys who have been doing that. Redneck Renegade, he's got this handles for heroes thing that he's doing, and he does ferro rod and striker handles, and he sends them out to. He's done that to military vets. He's done that to some who either are or have been in law enforcement, or he'll send some out to people who are or have been in medical services. He even sent a set all the way to England, and then that guy in turn passed them on to a buddy he knows who served in the British military. Then there are people in the ration community who will hook someone up with a ration that they could not find or wanted but could not afford. I've had the guys hook me up with stuff that I was hoping to find, or just stuff that was unexpected. You know, one sent me a Canadian IMP with the lamb stew. That was awesome. That is the best. I've only had a couple of Canadian IMPs that had not been rated by customs, but that lamb stew was awesome. You know, I thought the turkey and orange sauce was good, but the lamb stew topped that. And then I got a box of the halal my own meals, and I got another couple other additional emeries on top of that you know I was not expecting. It was just bonuses, and they had not asked me for anything in return. And but then I have sent a couple boxes of goodies to the bigger reviewers. I sent one to Old Smoky, and I sent one to Gundog. No, I reviewed the turkey and orange sauce, and then someone else recently reviewed one. But that person wasn't as much of a fan of it. But I liked it. Again, I liked flavors like that. Yeah, the lamb stew, I think that one might have been reviewed by one other person. I don't know. I'd have to do a search for videos on the lamb stew IMP. But the poutine I've seen a few times. It does not look like legit poutine, but I want to try the shepherd's pie IMP. That's the one that I'm interested in trying, but hopefully I'll be able to score one of those. But now that foreignemery.com has some Norwegian Arctic field rations, some of those are breakfast rations with muesli, and then there are a few other ones that they have. So when I do my next ration order from them, I will probably get one of those. If there are any of them left. But they have some vintage brown bag emeries, the first generation of the tan bag emeries. They have first strike rations. They have the milled cold weather. And I reviewed the turkey tetrazzini milled cold weather. I got a second one of those, but I will be giving that one away. I just haven't decided how I'm going to do that yet. But that one will be a giveaway item. But I want to try some of the other milled cold weather. I want to try the seafood chowder. And of course, I want to try more rations from other countries. But whenever I buy a foreign ration from a site other than, say, Foreign MRE, I will not say where I get it from, because, you know, although I haven't had any issues with customs rating any of my food packages that have come from outside the U.S., that still could happen. But I don't want to take any chances and get that seller into hot water, or me for that matter. So as much as I would like to shout out other sites I may get foreign rations from, other than Foreign MRE, I will not say where I got it from. And Nathan's MRE, he does the same thing. He will not reveal where he gets his foreign rations from to protect the source, other than if a person, say, like Vasily of Outdoor Tactical, he sends stuff all the way from Russia, but he's not a seller. He's just another YouTuber who simply shares stuff that he can get access to easily. And he drops a crap ton of rubles to ship it over here to Nathan's MRE to review. But he still checks those to make sure that customs hasn't messed with it. Vasily does all of his reviews in Russian, but although his videos do not have English subtitles or captions, I still watch them because I can kind of get the gist of what he's saying about an item by just watching how he reacts to it. You know, the tone of his voice. And of course, he's been shooting his outdoor videos in some killer scenery lately. Since he changed location to where he does his outdoor videos. But I still watch him. Even though I don't know very much Russian. But speaking of Russian stuff, the beef stroganoff that I will review after I get back. So that may actually be on the June 1st or 2nd, because I'm leaving on the 26th, so that is next Sunday. I'm coming back on the 31st. So on June 2nd, I will do a review, and the stroganoff, that is the Chef 5-minute meals. I will be reviewing that, and that one is only the entree, the heater, and probably maybe a spoon. May not be like this, but there'll be a spoon in there, maybe salt and pepper, and a napkin, and that's it. But because it is several years old, I will boil it instead of using the ration heater that comes with it. But it is the entree only, so I may get into my stash of stuff. Oh, speaking of foreign MRE, there is Art in the house. Thanks for dropping in. Thanks for dropping that super chat. Very much appreciated. So I was just saying that my next ration order from you may be one of those Arctic field rations. And I do want to get another one of those German ones, because I'm going to donate one of them to the Ration Museum, which now has a space, a dedicated office and storage room, where Sean will be able to unload all of the stuff out of his basement and into a room that has no public access because it's a commercial building. It's in a basement room, so it's more climate controlled. There are no windows for sunlight to get in. And it's a secured building, so it will not be a public access because right now it will just be a storage location. But as far as he knows, he does not have one of those German emergency rations. So when I told him that I have that, and I would be willing to offer it up. So that's why I have not reviewed that one, but I want to get another one. So I'll review that one, and then I will send it and the unopened one to him so that he can have a display of what a seal box looks like and something, to show the actual contents. So I do want to get another one of those emergency German rations. And there is a JR in the house. Thanks for dropping in. I have eaten all of the main, which was vegetarian lasagna. And I threw a bit of my own Parmesan cheese on there. I ate the crackers, but I still have the jelly, which I'll just suck out of the packets, which is what I always do off camera. And I have half the fused Pop-Tarts. So it's two of them squished together. Reduced sodium from Sopacko. None of these have drinks of any kind, so I got my own coffee and my own cold drink. And the first coffee packet that I opened up is the Deep Rich, but it had gone south. So I just got a different mug. And so I only did a single serving of the Deep Rich coffee, so I only fill it half full of water instead of the usual double. Yeah, I basically it's a double Pop-Tart, but you can't split it, otherwise it would just be a crumbled mess. And all of these Sopacko low sodium memories have the brown sugar, the maple brown sugar ones. They all have Tootsie Rolls. And they have 2 jams or jellies, no peanut butter, because the peanut butter would be too high in sodium. And get the crackers. And there's supposed to be a salt-free seasoning, but there's only 2 of these. And this is the kind of spoon you get with it. And this one had 2 napkins instead of 1. And sometimes they put these and the pepper and or seasoning, salt-free seasoning, in an accessory pack, but not always. These are just loose in the bag. And because this is from 2012, I did not use the ration heater. But I do save these because I figure in an emergency, if this is what I have to heat a pouch, I throw some salt in there with the water, and that would help it kick off. So that's why I saved those ration heaters. But there's always strawberry jam, and it could be either grape jelly like most of these or apple. I've had a couple that had apple, but one of them, the apple jelly had completely turned brown like Russian apple butter, but it did not taste like a fresh apple jelly. And sometimes these can be hit or miss as far as if they look right, if the strawberry has a red color, if the grape looks purplish, or if the apple is clear. Well, as in like a golden, if it looks like diluted honey instead of looking brown like Russian apple butter. But the crackers are the typical MRE crackers, no salt, but they're still edible, and my apartment is a bit cool since I keep my I got a new air conditioner last week, so these Tootsie Rolls are not as pliable as they would be if this room was hotter, but you know, I choose to keep it fairly cool in here because that's, you know, I have no cold room for my long-term food storage. I just have this small apartment. I'm on the second floor, but at least I'm on the north side. I don't have, I'm at the east end of the building, and I do have a little bit of shade from the trees and deck partition, but the way the sun is currently angled, I'm getting some from the west, but I can always block that by turning my blind closed if I need to, but the Tootsie Roll's not squished. That's what it looks like on the inside. And it tastes like a Tootsie Roll should. But as I was saying, after Art dropped that super chat, I want to order another one of those German emergency rations, and I want to get one of those Norwegian Arctic field rations. Those are I've had I think I've only actually had one of those, but I want to get some more of those, and of course I'm going to drop some orders elsewhere. I won a $50 gift certificate from Minotaur Trading Company for an honorable mention for my chicken biryani recipe for their Ration cooking contest. Out of the 5 recipes that I submitted, I got something out of it, which I'm very happy with. Oh, yep. Yeah, the Art and Nina have, they also have masks on their site with the Foreign Emery logo. And they have a pocket so you can put a replaceable filter in it. And I may get one of those if there are any left, but I won't be dropping an order till after I get back from my trip on the 31st. And I don't know what time I'll be getting back that day, but I do plan on dropping an order on a Foreign Emery. And they have some food packet from the 70s, which would be very interesting to open up. Even if none of it is edible, it would still be awesome to open up. And I know the Ration Museum probably has one of those, but it's still a piece of ration history. And so far, the oldest food that I have eaten has been that brown bag emery, that diced beef. That one was absolutely awesome. I'm bummed out that the brownie had gone south. You know, that the cocoa mix and the cold drink mix had gone south, because I really want to try the cold drink mix, but that's why I keep backups. So those mystery boxes that I got, all that stuff has come in handy. So I have a good selection of drink mixes and coffees and teas, and so I got a lot of peanut butter and jellies and jams. So just if I need to pack something like that for a camping trip, those are an easy grab. I can throw those into my food bag. But in the past few trips, I haven't really eaten that stuff, because there's always been other things like I took a dozen eggs on the last trip, and I shared them with Tax. She took some of my eggs for her breakfast on Saturday morning. So either she had run out of eggs, because she was already there, I think, a day or two before she came and picked me up. Or no, I think she got off of work early, so she came and picked me up. But she didn't have eggs at home, or she just forgot them. But I took mine, and so I offered to share them with her, and that was pretty awesome. Of course, have to check out both of our videos on that. You know, the big owls that were hanging out in the campground and sitting on one guy's camper. That was funny watching that. Apparently that owl had this thing for campers, because the same owl would sit on it. And of course I had a butterfly sitting on my head, but I was okay with that. I thought it was pretty cool. I will not be doing any video shooting during my family trip, because after all, it is with family, and if I do, I'll probably just post it on my Facebook. Oh yes, and these owls, is probably just the body alone, without the head or feet, is probably as big as one of these. And these are not the owls that just typically hoot. They do a different call. I can't imitate it because I'm not that good. But these are big owls. But it was so cool just watching them. You're just going from tree to tree. I mean, this is during the daytime they were doing it. And of course, Saturday night, Tack and I were just sitting by our fire, a campfire, and there was a turkey in the trees near the creek. We couldn't see it, but we heard it, so that was pretty cool. I would need a UGR for that. Plus, my relatives don't even know that I do this. They think I'm really weird. And some think I'm a little strange anyway, but yeah, I would need a UGR. It's a unitized group ration. Yeah, Old Smoky got into a couple of UGR cakes one time, and when there was a ration meetup over that Black Dog Bob was hosting, he had a couple of UGR items. These are big things that would be like probably as wide, as long as my tray, and as wide as my tray is long, depending on what the particular food is. And it's designed to serve probably maybe a minimum of 16 or 18 people, or however you divide it. So it would be like you go into a store and buy a medium or large sheet cake. This would be, the UGR is the military's version of that multi-serving item. A couple of years ago, Steve 1989 opened a box that was, say, like a 25-person group. Sorry about that, I got disconnected. But as I was saying, Steve 1989 opened up a box that was like a 25-person group ration that had cans in it, because it was the C ration type or the MCI type. And it was a huge amount of food. Some of the cans are bigger, say like the size of a small coffee can, or maybe a 20-ounce can or something like that. Some were a smaller size, and then there have been a couple other videos since where like a 5-person. Australia has what's called the CR5M. That's the 5-person version of the CR1M. And then one of the British YouTubers opened up one that is supposed to be like a 20-person ration. It was a German ration, I believe, that he opened up. And I'd have to go back through my. See, I forget which one of those had done that, but that was recently. That was that one was opened up, and that was pretty cool. And then there was a Russian multi-person ration that was opened up, but it was only part of it because some of the items are missing. But it was still cool to see all that. But if I had something like that, I would have to use a tripod and raise it to its tallest point and angle it down so that my phone or camera or whatever I used to shoot that video with could see it all, but still be able to show the whole table. So it would have to be a lot higher than what I have this at, because right now my phone is set so it's up to my nose. That's how high it is. And I have it slightly angled so that the side facing me is a little bit lower than the side that's facing away from me, so that I can have decent lighting and have a better view of my tray and what else I have here. Oh yeah, Flanker Tanker. Yeah, he's got some good stuff. He does stuff other than ration reviews, but that's the one that I enjoy watching because he can get some stuff that we have a hard time getting. And of course, I enjoy watching my Polish brother Delicious. I call him my Polish brother because he is in Poland. He is Polish. And I happen to be Polish. So I enjoy watching him. And he's able to get stuff easier, especially European rations, that is harder to get over here. Plus, I think he has some connections to some really good suppliers who can get him some good stuff. But yeah, and there are a few more people that are getting into it. Aletha is new to YouTube. So I haven't gone to her channel to see if she has anything up yet. But I'm hoping that she will soon. And she is here in Iowa. She is just in a different part of the state than I am. And I'm hoping that someday we can do some kind of a video collab where we would either review either the same ration or something similar, or we do simultaneous video postings. Or something like that. But since she is kind of new to this, even though I live on a limited income myself, I do want to hook her up with something. Maybe I'll do what I did for Old Smoky and Gundog and make what you could call a custom ration. Oh, cool. Yeah, Delicious is awesome. And yeah, Sue Nelson is in Washington. But she does more of the outdoor type stuff, and she also does videos about, sometimes what's going on at her workplace because she works at a fruit packing plant. So she may mention what fruits they're packing in that particular day that she's there. But she has sent pieces of fatwood from Washington to several others, and I have a piece of that fatwood, and I've only lit up a little bit of it, but that stuff is so red, and it smells so good. But yeah, she's in Washington State, and she sometimes goes into Smokey's live stream. It just depends on when she's at home and available to watch. But with the different fruits being sent to the plant, she's pretty busy. The one I sent to Old Smoky, I included some grape drinks that actually contain like a 40% fruit juice concentrate. And he thinks that those might have come from a UGR or unitized group ration. I bought those as a lot from someone on eBay. And I had quite a few of those, because I bought a big pack of them, but then I was drinking quite a few of them. But then when I was getting down to a few, oh crap, I better hold on to some of these. But I sent some of them to Old Smoky, and I sent 4 of them to him, so he opened up one. He still has the other 3, but I would like to see those in rations again, in individual rations, not just the UGR. But those are from like 2014, 2015, something like that. I don't know if those are still in production or not, but they look like actual grape juice. They taste like grape juice. And they are pretty good. So I'm holding on to the few that I have left. Huh. Everyone's icon is a blank. It could be that I'm seeing yours as orange. So James, I'm seeing yours as a normal orange. I'm seeing Jars as his normal one. It could just be your connection. I'm just, well, JR, he changed, his is white. If, his is white. So if it doesn't look white to you, then maybe there's something on your end, because it's white to me. Well, I'm just down to what little bit of coffee I got left, which isn't much. Oh, now that's gone. Well, I'm just down to my little bit of Tootsie Roll left. Off camera, I'll just suck these dry, which is what I do. I don't bother saving these. I just suck the contents out of them. And I got my little bit of orange drink left, and that'll be it. So I think I'm going to go ahead and call this one good. I'm going to hand it off to YouTube to process. So I do want to thank you all for watching. And remember, next Sunday, no stream, because I will be at Lake Icaria getting camp all arranged and We're staying in cabin, so getting our stuff organized. Catch a fish. I might just go ahead and start fishing that night. I don't know, but anyway, so that's going to be Sunday. Then meal stroganoff, and now we'll dig into my stash to put some other things with it to make a complete meal. Yep. I do have a P38 in one of my kits. I think I got that one in my get home bag, and then I have my I think I have my P51 in my bug out bag, and my Fred is on my keychain that I have my house keys and my mosque keys on. So I have at least one can opener when I carry my keys, and if I got my get home bag on, I got 2 can openers, so I don't have to worry about not being able to open a can. So again, thank you all for watching. And again, thanks to Art from foreignemery.com for dropping that $10 super chat. So until my next review, or whatever video I choose to put up next, catch you on the flip side.